Hello, Miss Butcher. I definitely won't mistake the pronunciation of your last name. However, your first name kind of looks like Troy with an IA, so maybe Troia. Beautiful name. I just hope that I'm not butchering your name. You probably get that all the time. Don't worry about it. I get it all the time. People call me so stressed. Yeah. Hi, by the way, my name is LaShawn. We are in the same class together for ethics in human services. Now, the question this week for discussion board, and this is my response to you, is should Christians live to a higher standard, right? And my reply to you, as I was reading your discussion board post, two things came to me. Well, truth be told, three things came to me. So, yes, Jesus was exemplar in how we are to conduct ourselves. For that reason, right? The meek shall inherit the earth. And it also says that Jesus was meek. Who else does the Bible say that was meek? Moses. Moses killed an Egyptian, had a whole fight elsewhere. But both instances, his reaction was righteous. However, it may have seemed disproportionate to the situation. Just recently in my in one of my church services, my reverend went so far to give us like a whole lesson on what the flog looked like that Jesus created when he saw the temple in chaos. And I say that intentionally because in your discussion board post, you say the world is in a constant state of chaos and people are looking for something to believe in, right? So, excuse me, I'm definitely a New Yorican from the Bronx. So sometimes you might hear my accent come out. But my African-American mother made sure to send me to Catholic school my entire life so that I would speak well and be well poised and all that other good stuff. But with all of my upbringing, it's difficult for me not to make this point right now. Let me just open that back up. Right. So Jesus saw the temple in an uproar and was like, okay, sat back, was chilling for a hot minute, and started to prepare this thing that looked like a whip that had 6 extensions to it with little knots at the end. During service, I pulled my phone out my purse and took a picture on some, Reverend, you found a picture. And he was very explicit in acknowledging that it wasn't like a cat nine, the thing that had the claws at the end. That Jesus wasn't trying to like rip people's skin off with this thing. He was going in there to whoop some tail, like quite severely. And he did just that. He sat in the cut for like 5 seconds and created this thing, and then turned around and, like a good parent, commenced in standing up and being vocal about his position. The scriptures don't say that he was verbose in it. He said what he needed to say. He got to the point and he didn't use any profanity. Now that's going to my second point. Hold on. But Jesus did flip tables and let everybody know, this is my Father's house. You're not doing this here, right? And that's his only indication of aggression throughout any of the Gospels. Okay, now, I know I'm already past my 5-minute mark, but I definitely ad-libbed a little bit, so I'm going to go on ahead and continue to make my point. As of late, we have had Kirk Franklin in the media reprimanding his child, and he used profanity, right? So let's go on ahead and address meekness, parental love, being exemplar of that same grace, and still having a certain decorum, right? Right. So Kirk Franklin apologized to the world, but he didn't apologize for getting on his son. He was apologizing, in my opinion, for his use of language. Now, there are times, we are renewed in Christ, and this is the other example that came to me. I don't know if you remember, but this one particular comedian, now turned like talk show host and everything else, actor, he used to say, "Don't trip, God's still working on me. Don't judge, God's still working on me." Steve Harvey, right? Right. Now you won't catch Steve Harvey using profanity. However, when he first came out and was a budding Christian, his mouth was still a little loose. So I think that it's really important for us to understand that in our own walk, we can't condemn ourselves. And you did speak to that. You said being a beacon of light, but that we are not, that people are entangled in the world of sin and darkness. Sometimes, and this has been my experience, you may not hear the gospel from one because there's no relatability. But you may hear it from someone else. Brings to mind the fact that Joyce Meyer, as of late, I saw something on my Instagram where she was like, when she first started preaching, right? She was walking around in hot pants and still smoking her cigarettes. So I think it's really important to understand that, the walk is indicative of those who we would be ministering to in the first place. Yes. So my response to you isn't necessarily a critique. It's just something along the lines of an addendum, right? Because yes, we understand that we should have the focus and the intention of behaving differently. But God's still not done with us. I know God's not done with me. And I'm very intentional, especially now being a mother of 5, almost 5, and having to grow up into motherhood. First child was at 25, and I was sure I was on the right track until something happened and I gave a backhand and some utterance came out my mouth that sounded like my mother. And I realized that that's not who I wanted to be, even though my mother was still a Christian. But I had to find my own way. And now, other women who are able to identify with my background, for instance, say things to me like, "I don't know how you just got through that. How you didn't lose your mind when you were talking to your child. All you did was explain. You did so sternly, you got your point across, but had that been me?" And, in those moments, I'm able to say, Well, sis, I'm 12, 13 years in, and it took some time for me to get here. Just trust God. It's going to take some time for you too. So, yes, my addendum to your discussion board post is that, yes, we are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people, right? So says Peter 2:9. But God's also not done with us. And we have to be forgiving to ourselves as we continue to strive to be more Christ-like. God bless, and ciao for now.